Good evening from Xfinity Center, Maryland, 77, Stony Brook, the Seawolves, 63. I'm Wayne Viner. That's Bruce Posner. Who do you have as your player of the game there, Bruce?
Without question tonight, Dion Wiley. Long time since he's had, double-digit points. 4 trays, played great, steady ball, made a big difference. Look, what did they win by 12, 14 points? Yeah. And it's a difference right there. And Checo coming off the bench. DeMonte Dodd was out with concussion protocol.
Right.
And I thought Checo played great.
Checo's my player of the game. Mason said he had 11 points in 16 minutes. He had some run. When you see him running and catching the ball like a power forward instead of a lumbering center and slamming it home, it gives you hope for the future.
At this point of the season, he should not really have a stamina problem because he hasn't played.
Right. Well, you don't know.
But he played great. He really did.
See him actually get out and run was good. Of course, Mello, he had the points. Even he hit a few threes there. So it's a good performance.
Finally, they had a game that you don't have to sweat out the end. It's been a while.
It has been.
They're 5-0. One game was a D3 game, which was no more than an exhibition. Mm-hmm. But now you have a couple potentially tough games with Richmond on Friday night and the winner of BC, who is struggling with Towson tonight. No surprise to me and you. Or Kansas State.
Kansas State. That game doesn't have a time. It's 9:30. You probably see it. If you're watching this in the D.C. metro area, you're probably going to see this on Masson. Baltimore says it's Masson. And then Saturday, a game time to be announced. It's hosted by the American Sports Network. I haven't heard of them yet.
No idea.
Well, basketball's good, and we'll get to the points and the assists and the rest of that in a moment. But this is a lot about football. My heart's in the football. I came up from Nebraska. I'm quasi-hopeful for the Rutgers game. You seem more confident than I am.
Yeah, no, I can't see how Rutgers beats us. I mean, we're not playing Nebraska. We're not playing Michigan or Ohio State. And it's a game they should win. They will win the game on Saturday. They'll get their bowl where it'll be Detroit or Dallas. Who cares? As long as they get the bowl.
Right.
And
I can see that.
I mean, what's the difference where they go?
2-9.
Who they projected to play in these games?
Well, let me go over Rutgers thing for a second.
All right.
Rutgers beat Howard. We did that. They beat New Mexico, and they lost some big games. And these all are to 0. The other side 0. They go 58, scored 0. Give 78. Give up 49 and give up 39. So they've had a couple blowout games there where they just haven't scored. So
it's all about it whether or not Perry Hills plays, and if he plays, if he could stay in the game.
Yeah,
that's a big factor.
Bortenschlager wasn't that bad, but he's not Perry Hills.
Bortenschlager is a freshman, and it'll be a game if he winds up being the quarterback. Right. If Perry plays, it'll be workmanlike. They'll get on top like 21-7 and come in with a 10 or 12-point win.
All right, that's on ESPN News, 12 o'clock Saturday. We'll be there. God, I got my hopes are up. We need this one. It's a program-type win. We need to get this done.
Detroit's an easy trip.
Oh, so who else could they play? Mason, you have any idea who they could play? Right, he says Boston College. We're going to drive to Detroit to see Maryland play BC or Wake.
Whatever. It's a bowl game, and you get 18, how many more? 18 days of practice?
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal.
That's a real big deal.
Some more practice. So before we get too much further, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Certainly.
And the postgame show is brought to you by Meyer Consulting. They've been with us for a long time, and we're going to play their spot right here. Meyer Consulting Engineers. In the past 5 years, our organization has completed over 1,300 projects in the U.S. and abroad, including many structures at the University of Maryland. For structural engineering and materials testing and inspection, call Meyer Consulting Engineers. Viner Consulting, and we're happy to have Northwestern Mutual Insurance and Dan Schiffman back for this basketball season.
That's super. Wayne, I have to ask you, I hate to bring it up, but I think for the first time in about 10 years, the Redskins have a better record than the Ravens, and they play Dallas on Thursday.
Thursday about
7-point underdog. But the Redskins have had a good history in that game, being the underdog.
Being the underdog, I think back to my youth when the Redskins played Dallas and they just lost on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
That
but who was the guy who
tradition.
came off the bench?
Clint Longley. Clint Longley.
All right.
Yeah, he came off the bench. A little bit of Rogers Staubach. Bunch of bad things happened. But this week, Dak Prescott is a good
I watched the
quarterback.
game.
But
I watched the first Redskins game in full since the Maryland game. I mean, the Ravens game, and I thought they looked great. I mean, this kid from Duke is fantastic.
Yep.
And Crowder.
Jamison Crowder.
Right, and-
would have still rather had Diggs, but Crowder's pretty good.
Yeah, but and Cousins has been playing great. The defensive line's pretty good.
Look, over the past 20 games, Cousins has miraculous numbers. He's one of the greatest 20-game stretches in quarterback rating ever. And he has the most 300 yards passing games already in Redskins history. He's only been around a little bit. But
I see in the crowd we have a North Dakota State
there's
student.
a bison. There's a bison
There's a
over
bison in the
there.
crowd.
Back from North Dakota.
Come on over here. Come on over here.
It's family night here.
Get in here, Jordan.
Mason, let me take that notebook while Bruce is
Get in
talking
here.
to Jordan.
Jordan, tell me about college. How's it been?
It's been fun.
What's the Bison's record or the Bison record?
11-1.
And what bowl are they shooting for?
Well, the FCS works actually in a tournament fashion, so they're number one
so it's
seed.
actually, they're in that tournament for the championship.
Yep.
How many times have they won it?
They've won it 11 times. This would be number 6 in a row.
6 in a row. They beat Towson one time, right?
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad, yeah.
How's school out there?
It's hard.
Has it got cold yet?
Yes.
Okay. Figured as much. All right, that's our report from North
right.
Dakota State.
So any other of these stats you want to go over? The high score was Mallow. He had 21. I was impressed by their point guard, Woodhouse. He had 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. You really like Jackson's rebounding at 8 points, 9 boards. What did you see with Justin Jackson?
Smooth. He's smooth. Everything he does seems very effortless. And he's got great moves inside. He can score inside. I don't think he hit a long shot tonight. But, Wiley was there to do it. And it's just a different team when you have Wiley hitting shots.
Right.
Entirely different team.
Maryland shoots 48.9%. That's 23 of 47, 8 of 19 beyond the arc. They have 35 rebounds. And believe it or not, Stony Brook out-rebounds them 38-35. A lot of fouls for the Terps.
Unbelievable amount of fouls, but they're playing aggressive. And we're going to hear all about, are you calling in tomorrow about the Nebraska game?
Yeah, well, it's a TerpTalk on 1300 CBS Sports Radio tomorrow. So we'll talk Nebraska, talk Rutgers, and a little bit of basketball. What else do you have?
Give me a good Rutgers report. We'll both lament about Sasho's loss to the soccer team. And if you noticed, Sash wasn't here tonight. That's unusual.
Yeah.
He must. I heard he's really down.
Right. Mason tried to show me the highlights. I didn't want to see them.
Yeah, well, you're up 4-1. They don't lose. They don't up when they're up. They don't lose when they're up 1-0.
Right.
Or when they're down 1-0.
No, they have had an incredible run. So kudos to Sasha and the number 1 ranked soccer team that lost to Providence on Sunday night. That about does it for tonight.
That does it for tonight. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Wayne, you and your family have a great Thanksgiving.
Bruce, same to you and all those
I'll
grandchildren.
be with all the grandchildren on Thursday. We'll be watching the Redskins. Can't root for them this time. No, I don't really care.
You don't care.
No,
I care.
as far as I'm concerned, they should win. I don't care.
I care enough. And then Sports Maven.
Sports Maven on Saturday, and then next Sunday, and the Ravens take on the Bengals. The first place Ravens. That's the weird thing.
Are they 5-5?
5-5, they're in first place, and the Redskins are 6-3-1.
Yep,
and have little hope to wind up in first place.
And they're in third place.
Right.
That'll do it from Xfinity Center. Bruce, say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. Drive safely. Have a great Thanksgiving.